Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tati. Today we're going to be talking about the most important step in the manicure process, and that's the cuticle care. But first, let's make sure we know how to identify what our cuticle is before we start learning on how to properly care for it. Cuticle is actually thin skin that grows out on top of your nail plate, and it grows out with your nail, which if not properly removed or taken care of can in the long run grow out very thick and get very hard on the nail from sticking so long, but it can also slow down the growth process because the skin is pulling on your nail plate as it's growing out. A lot of us have this misconception that the cuticle is the skin surrounding the nail bed, but that's actually called an eponychium, and essentially it's just skin meant to protect your nail bed from debris and things from getting inside of it. And yes, it can get dry and build up calluses, but if we're properly caring for the cuticle, you're gonna see how you suffer from those issues a lot less, if at all. So today what I'm gonna show you is how that's properly removed and how little you're actually gonna need to rely on these nippers. This is something that you really shouldn't be using that much at all. So here we have cuticle remover that's been applied. If you saw my waterless manicure, we talked about why we use a cuticle remover instead of water to soften the cuticle. Nails are fully filed, shaped. Now I'm ready to go in and actually start removing the cuticle. This right here is a cuticle pusher. Most important tool you're gonna have in your manicure process. And with the scoop edge, what I'm gonna do is gently scrape along the edges of the nail plate. And I don't know if you could already start seeing the bits of dead skin that's coming up. And I'm gonna go all the way around because your nail plate goes from side to side, so the cuticle is gonna even grow out from the furthest edge of your actual nail plate. So you always wanna make sure that you're gently scraping across. Be gentle with your client, especially if they tend to be more sensitive. And you can see the amount of cuticle here that comes off. That's what needs to be removed and properly pushed back. Once you're pushing it back, you're freeing up that nail plate from skin that's holding it back, which is why my clients have such incredible rapid nail growth after their first manicure. And that's pretty much across the board 100% of my clients. So I'm gonna go and we're gonna go ahead and just quickly finish pushing back and removing all the cuticle from all the nails. Okay, so now that I've pushed back all the cuticle, I'm gonna go through with the opposite end of my pusher, this little scraper right here, and I'm just gonna go through and finish removing everything that I've pushed back. Sometimes there might be something a little stuck up in the nail bed, so I'll make sure to go in and try to clean out essentially as much of this as I can with just this tool alone. I try to minimize how much I use the nippers, if at all. Look at all this skin and cuticle that's building up. This is after about 3 weeks since her last manicure. Some people are more prone to growing more cuticle and others don't really grow out that much. Humidity definitely plays a role, and if you live down here in South Florida, we struggle with humidity throughout the seasons. So I'll just go through and finish doing this with all the nails, working my way back to the pinky. You can see right here a little bit is kind of stubborn in there in the cuticle or in the nail bed. So I'll just gently get in there and bring it up. We don't want to be too rough. If it's taking too much effort to remove the cuticle with the pusher, sometimes you just need to go right back in there with the end, get it a little more loosened up from the nail bed, and gently scrape off. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing so that you can catch up on a lot of other processes to the manicure that I definitely want to share and hopefully help everyone out there with. But right here, as you can see, my sister was a little clumsy and she got a little bit of a nail break. You can actually see some videos in the future I'll be posting regarding how to fix nail breaks, how to help them along their way very easily, good strong bond, and also when you gotta just say goodbye to some nail breaks and let them grow. If you're putting into practice what we're showing you today with the cuticle care, then you'll definitely be having clients whose nails grow super fast. So if we got to cut them down, it's no big deal. They'll grow pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and finish removing the cuticle on this hand, and then we'll move on to her other hand so we can go on to the next step of the cuticle care. We've gone through, we've removed as much as I can with my pusher. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash off the rest of this residue. So with my little napkin, I use napkins for everything, by the way. Everything in my shop is one-time use. The only thing that I actually clean and sanitize and disinfect is my cuticle pusher and nipper. Sprayed a little bit of water on the cuticle, and I'm just wiping it all off, taking off the rest of the residue that's left behind. This is where I'm going to go through and inspect and see what really needs to be nipped off. And I'm going to be extra careful because if we're going through and nipping that eponychium that we were talking about earlier, that's live skin. If I'm going through and just nipping the skin that's up here, and you can see it's not dead skin, it's not white, it's nice and lively. But if I go through and just cutting that, your skin's gonna end up overgrowing, growing harder. It's live skin, so its instinct is to protect itself. That's why we form calluses. We put a lot of pressure on our hands. It's gonna form a callus to protect your skin so it doesn't tear. But as I look here, I'm kind of opening up the cuticle bed. I can definitely see a little dead skin right here I'm gonna nip off. The more comfortable you get with your nippers, the easier it'll be, but you always kind of want to just push against the skin and nip anything that's above it or sticking out of it. I can see little tiny residue pieces that I wasn't able to get out with the pusher, so we'll get it out through the nipper. And then right here, we are carefully, we don't want to cut off too much. See a little dead skin right there. See, most of it has been fully removed. And this is a client that suffers from psoriasis. So many people out there these days are suffering from eczema, psoriasis, and conditions that are similar to that. And you know how dry your hands can get. But if you're properly caring for the cuticle, you're minimizing a great deal the discomfort and the inconvenience of having the broken up skin around the cuticle line. to get really close into the epinecium skin. I try to use the end. Let me clean this up real quick. I use the far end of the nipper to kind of push that skin back so that I can get in there and really make sure I'm only nipping what I want to. Any white skin that you see is dead skin. That is super safe to remove. It's already dead. You're not gonna have your skin fighting back with a vengeance on those. We're pulling away at the skin so that we can really make sure we're getting in and only nipping what we intend to, which is just the cuticle that was left behind and any other dead skin that you can see.
Missing someone.
So now we've gone ahead and we've removed all the excess dead skin that we weren't able to remove with the pusher. So now we've gone over and we've seen how easy it is to really remove the cuticle the proper way. It's super important to make sure that you're identifying what cuticle is, that you're using the right tools, and that you're really minimizing the need or the use of those cuticle nippers and not cutting excess skin that doesn't need to be cut. Remember, your skin is live skin. If you're cutting what doesn't need to be cut, it's going to overgrow, it will get worse, and that's what we don't want, because then we're going to tend to want to cut even more. But if you're properly removing the cuticle, your nails are going to grow, the skin health around your nail overall will improve. I've had 100% success rate with all my clients, and it's definitely probably the most important thing that I want to share with those out there that are doing nails right now, whether it be professionally or doing your own nails at home. Make sure that you're taking care of those cuticle. It's going to be a night and day difference. It's also going to help with the longevity of your manicure. If you have clean cuticles, then you're getting a really clean application of your color, which actually we're going to be talking about in the next video. Buffing your nails, prepping for that final step of polishing. But right now you guys are super up to date with waterless manicures and why we need to ditch the water, how to properly file your nails and get the shape that you like, what nail shapes are healthy, and then the cuticle care. So I definitely hope everyone has gotten something really important from this, that you're applying these practices on your next manicure, whether it's yours or a client. I'd love to get some feedback and comments below. If you have any questions, reach out. I've actually had a few people reach out to me on Instagram, and I definitely encourage it. If you're not already following me on my Instagram, make sure you do, because I'll be doing live videos on more cuticle care and lots of other tips, and you're able to reach out and see if there's anything else that I can help you out with. Make sure you're liking and subscribing this video, that you're sharing it with your friends and with your nail technicians. Let's make sure that everyone's got healthy cuticle nails and that we're all doing it right. So I'll catch you guys next time when we are polishing to perfection. Thank you.
I am sad and so low.